I just spoke with someone who gave me a compliment on how, I guess, effectively I can have conversations with people about my business. And he was saying that I seem so natural and so calm and so no pressure. It's just it sounded like a regular conversation is kind of the theme of what he was saying. And as I was sharing with him, and I really, just want to, for the sake of documentation, share with you, is that comes from a lot of work, comes from a lot of repetition. I wish I had the technology and the sense to record what I was doing in the very beginning, because I was absolutely horrible. I was so bad. And I'm even being reminded, I was reminded last week by a friend on how much pressure I put on him, he said, for 3 months about the business, and how much I turned him off, not only to the business but even to me as a friend. So he helped me by sharing that with me. But I told you that to tell you this: it takes a lot of work. So that's where the smoothness comes from. It's just doing it over and 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 over again, so many times wrong, until it gets good, until it gets better, and then maybe you're up in a top level of being able to communicate something. The other part of just how I feel and how it is received when I'm sharing information, asking questions. And he was also saying, just, it seems like you care so much. Well, I do care. I care about the person. I care whether or not I share with them the information properly. But once they receive the information, hopefully with an open mind and an open heart, then it's going to be up to them to decide if it's a match or if it's not. If it's something that they want to be a part of. And if they do, awesome. I will do everything I can to help them be successful. And if they don't, I'll still love them, and I hope and pray that they'll find something and be successful to achieve the dreams and goals for themselves and for their family. It comes from repetition. It comes from knowing who I am and knowing what I represent and knowing how I can help every single person I have a conversation with. And another thing he said, it says that he could tell that I did not have an agenda when I'm talking with people. And I corrected him. I said, hey, I have an agenda. The agenda is to see whether or not this vehicle that I have is a match for somebody and if they will allow me to help them. I have an agenda to get them to the next step, to give them enough information to make an educated decision on whether or not they'll allow me to help them or not, and to collect a decision. I have an agenda. I'm attached to my desired outcome, but I'm not attached to whether or not they will decide to allow me to help them or not, because I know what I have. I know that I have the ability to help them achieve every dream and goal they've ever had for themselves or for their family. And if I do my job and do my best to make that connection and ask the right questions and make that strong enough connection and share the information in a proper way and answer all their questions, I've done my share. And then it's just going to be up to them. And it's knowing that it's rarely ever the person who I'm talking to. It's always going to be the person who they introduce me to, who they introduce me to, who they introduce me to. So this is probably not the person anyway. So when you have the mindset and let the other person understand, I understand this is probably not going to be something you're going to want to ever be a part of. I get that. But what I do know for a fact is there are people in your life and people who you interact with, probably on a daily basis, who not only are open to something like this, but they are looking for it. And all I want you to do is I want you to get enough information to make an educated decision on whether it's a match for you or not, but also in the back of your mind, think about all those other people who you know and care about. And now that you know what I'm doing, you know who I am, you know how I share the information, hopefully you'll now feel comfortable when you think about those people and come across those people. You'll feel comfortable introducing them to me so that I can do what I do, which is make a connection, ask them questions, share a vision, and see if they'll allow me to help them or not. If they do, great. If they don't, I'll go on to the next person. So it's not complicated. When you know what you know, when you have something to help people, I believe it's an obligation to offer it to other people. But there's no pressure, there's no hype. There should be selling their sales components to it, but it's not that complicated. That's all you got to do.